I have to marvel a little bit about the locations in this DLC, because it's just... There's a lot of memorable ones kind of coming end to end, and I'm trying to remember ones from the first one, like, at all. It was pretty much just the drug developing the drug developing site where everyone was a drug addict themselves, and they just kind of looped, and then eventually all got executed for not doing their jobs, and then just kind of Gorgon as a general concept. I don't know. Gorgon was kind of unmemorable as a planet, and then you kept going into different structures, but the only memorable structure that comes to mind from all of Gorgon was the training facility where they were putting people through horrible things, and they were losing their minds and all that. But like, that place kind of kept going for a while, and I had to visit at least 3 or 4 different facilities, and I couldn't really tell you what most of them were. But this one's got like the RR and DD and the museum, and I'm like, let's check out the wildlife. And obviously the puzzleberry hedges that are in the purpleberry puzzle hedges that are in the purpleberry fields. I gotta like chase him so I can hear him talking. Yeah? You just keep going?
I'm going to absolutely murder the next quarterly report.
Okay.
The prophet says to purge the mind of truth, that her truth is the only truth. Facts serve no purpose in the pursuit of profit. The prophet says to purge the mind of truth.
It's probably true. I mean, they want you to purge your mind of truth because of the cult element, of they want to control you, but yeah, I don't think prophet cares about facts necessarily, depending on the context. But yeah, like, I was just like, alright, let's check out the weird wilderness place. And one, there's the weird details of how the wilderness place is full of fake details. Like, they have facades everywhere that are incomplete. But then also, like, there's just an entire cult thing going on in here. This is just a lot going on with this place. It just generally seems like an improvement over the first one in a lot of ways. Oh, she's right here. I thought everyone was just kind of staying here. What was that other path that I almost went down then? That's how you leave. See, there's this whole path on... I guess this is like the dorms and whatnot. It's gonna get me in trouble.
The prophet's treatments are intense. I nearly collapsed during the last session.
Yeah, it's because you're being... It's bad. You're supposed to eat and sleep, generally speaking. These are like the same notes I'm used to seeing in the... like, yeah, what? Why would these notes even be here? These are like the kinds of documents you have in the office, which I don't think fits the setting. Also, you guys definitely have to have inhalation problems going on right now, right? Like, you can't just have a bunch of fires indoors. Like, you gotta have some kick-ass ventilation going on at that point. This seems wildly unsafe. And the human skull's a bit much, you know? Don't do that. You can take advice from me. I'm a thief. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised to see, like, dorms and whatnot. Considering... Yeah, there are beds and whatnot. It's not just like a... These aren't rec rooms or anything. A lot of weird number of skulls. Yeah, I thought everyone lived in the tents. Granted, I don't see anyone in these places. Although I guess everyone's supposed to be, like, having whatever their day is. Okay.
Me? I'm pleased as pie.
So... What's up with all of that? That's a lot. Okay, so I think we've seen most of this place. I'm sure that a variety of people I talk to may send me on missions to go down there. Is she watching me? Can you stop watching me so I can open the thingy thing? I sit right here. Can anyone see me? I am a stealthy boy. So stealth.
You! Stop that! What do you
No,
think you're
calm
doing?
down. I was just
I
leaving.
suppose I can look away this time.
Ha 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 ha, please. Die. Does this door close? Thank you for looking away this time. And that she did literally look away. Now that I'm in here, she can't register that I'm crossed. Oh. Okay, get in here then, you punks. Now that I'm in here, she won't register as trespassing, because that's how AI works. Notice 2 old employees working in the holy caves. Holy. We regret to inform you that this atmospheric complex now belongs to Sublight Underground. Under the terms of our new intercorporate agreement, all Rizzo's employees remain on the complex will be viewed as corporate spies by Sublight Underground. While you remain here, you will not be under Rizzo's protection, nor will you be paid for any continued work. Please report to Rizzo's property for processing. Failure to comply will result in termination, either by Sublight Underground or Rizzo's fixers. Please refrain from misusing company resources to continue to survive. Thank you. Wow. That sentence went somewhere, didn't it? If you could call it quits on the surviving. Exnay on the survive a. I don't know how to. I don't actually know how to do that shit. Did people get bored of Pig Latin? I feel like they finally got bored of it. It always was referenced to like 90s movies, and I always found it annoying. Because it is annoying. Objectively. Oh yeah, I've been here already. Okay, so that's all the corners poked. Back to these people. Yep.
You return.
Nope. We talked to you two already. Everyone else might be a generic. You have a computer. From Ruth Bellamy. Profit. I have talked with my agents and they've told me that what I said about your seminars, Ari, not taking them, actually lost you about 30% of your revenue for the next 3 months, with future losses projected. When I said I wasn't much interested in attending, I didn't really realize it hit you quite as hard as I did. Guess it's the price of stardom. Everyone listens a little extra to everything you said. I'm hoping, if you've got space, that I might be able to attend one of your sessions today as a means of apologizing. I know that notice is short, but I'm hoping you can fit me in without too much inconvenience. Ruth Bellamy. She was definitely investigating everything. And not for her role. Lee Whitaker. Hey, Prophet, Whitaker here. Wanted to ask you about how that mix of herbs I sent you was worked out. I was skeptical at first about using them for meditation purposes, but hell, what do I know about productivity? That said, be sure to remember what I told you. Don't cut the herbs asymmetrically. Hampers the texture. Don't leave them out in the sun, and for law's sake, make sure you keep the smoke doses small. Last thing you want is to accidentally send somebody into a coma, or worse, kill them. Be smart. From your devoted attendees. Prophet, the other attendees for tripling profits through transcendentalism, and I have reconvened, and we're all in agreement. Your seminars are simply top-notch. We've seen a 0.5% increase in each of our businesses in total profit since we attended your seminars together. Of course, with the price of materials, shipping, and other costs involved, it boils down to more of a 0.1% increase, but an increase is an increase. If you ever decide to visit the Grand Colonial, you simply must let us purchase you a round of drinks. Then it'll be a 0.0% increase. Ha! Thanks to you, we certainly have the bits for it. Do you, though? Do you, though? Do you? Not after that. Is this burn? Ah! Ah! Jeez. They're not subtle with the heat effects in this game, huh? You're like, this is hot. The entire screen's covered in literal fire. I don't think that's safe to walk on for meditation purposes. Bruh.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health.
Okay, I thought I knew where that sentence was going. Then you said ears, and now I'm just confused why that's what... Burning these would generate some pretty toxic smoke.
Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness. Additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death.
Taste the herbs. Though the dry herbs are difficult to chew, the flavor is less bitter than you would have expected. It's woodsy, like tripicale, with a singed aftertaste. It's actually slightly better tasting than your average can of salt tuna, though so are most boots.
Hypothesizing potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation. Slight possibility of calculation error.
Can you analyze the chemicals these herbs have been treated with?
Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax.
How would these most likely be used?
Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined.
Alright, make a note on it. Let's move on. Beep, beep, beep. Alright, there's just sort of loud vacuuming noises happening. Good timing for when I'm just in the meat of an episode after a whole day of quiet. Well, hopefully that's not as audible. This is the first one? How was I supposed to find this one first? Halcyon Helen battles a lingering foe in a seedy bar. Halcyon Helen and Typhon Tim spoke in quiet tones about their next course of action, their voices soft beneath the din of the bar. The duo had just finished the last of the paperwork on Helen's latest job. Filing precise reports always raised her spirits. The trail's led us here, and I suspect it will lead us no farther. Soon we will find the source of the dissident's monsters, said Helen, a characteristic grin on her face. Let's hope your hunch is correct, Tim murmured, for I suspect their agents will not be far behind us. As if brought on by Tim's supposition, a frightful voice suddenly thundered through the room. Near the room door loomed a giant and blood-stained man, looking for all his worth like he had fought his way through a Mantiqueen's den. I think I read this one already. It was Maximilian Mercer, well-feared dissident stooge, and he had held... Yeah, he's got the two pistols in his greasy hands. I guess they're not especially memorable entries, because I didn't register that it was the same one at first. I didn't know they even had dupes. I'm already finding them all out of order. There's something really funny about how every character in all of those stories is a red shirt, because everyone around her just dies immediately to establish that the villain's a threat. So a villain shows up, immediately kills her ally, then she immediately kills the villain, and that's every chapter. Interesting looking.
Fruitful and productive welcome, brother. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival?
Nice little encampment you got here. Where do you indoctrinate people?
We indoctrinate people in the back. Wait. That was a jibe, wasn't it? With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential.
But my humor is all I have left. humors? I don't think I understand.
As science has taught us, the body is made up of two things, flesh and humors. These humors are semi-fluids that, when improperly balanced, may cause you to function inadequately. By signing up for my seminars, you can balance these humors for only mildly inordinate and repeat payments. Cancellation is subject to repercussions.
I wasn't quite ready to hear her say science, but I guess I should have been, because that's exactly what they do half the time. Is they're like, these are the secrets that science wants you to forget, or they're even like, these are scientifically proven by, don't check my notes, to be the cure to cancer. Just drink this water while laying upside down and magic. What kind of repercussions?
Nothing you need concern yourself with, brother. It's all in the contracts.
Yeah, my contract that I'm signing.
No one need subject themselves to such repercussions if they don't cancel. Regardless, can I interest you in a seminar?
There's cancellation repercussions. What the fuck? If I wanted someone's peddling sprat oil, I'd buy Sprat Wars. Don't waste my time.
Sprat oil? That is. We understand your decision and respect it. But those humors will cling to you. You'll find success with my seminars, or a quarter of your money back. Regardless, I do understand. Is there anything else I can help you with?
You've got some interesting herbs in there.
I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, brother. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. I can't say any more. Trade secrets, you know.
They seem toxic. Toxic enough to potentially kill someone.
None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else?
I followed your trail to where you dumped something in the wilderness.
Oh, really? What did you find there? What did I dump?
I think it was your morals.
Very funny, but not implicative. Anyone could have made that path, and even if it was me, you don't know what happened. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist?
Someone said they saw you dragging a human-shaped lump into your yurt.
Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, brother. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time.
If it was so insubstantial, it was just laundry, then you would be confused what they were even accusing you of. But you literally have a prepared excuse for the hyper-specific thing you remember because it was a body. Also, you don't put food on anybody's table, they pay you to be here. What the fuck? The quicker I get to the truth, the faster I can leave you alone.
Yes. I suppose the more quickly we get off this subject, the better. I had a visitor, yes. But as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now.
You're just gonna pretend you don't know who they were? I'm gonna ask you some questions about Halcyon Helen. Please answer truthfully.
Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know?
You and Helen didn't get along.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills.
Funnily enough, sabers were being stolen and she was inspecting that, so that's a funny choice of phrasing you just did. Did you contact Helen after you left the Grand Colonial?
I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further?
I read your terminal. I'd think real carefully before you lie to me again.
Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters.
You said you had no further interaction with Helen before her death, right?
Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her.
I saw the message from Helen on your terminal about attending a session.
Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen by mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness.
Did you shoot the body at the time?
Laws, no. I hate guns. If I ever wanted to kill someone on purpose, I would have used a blunt weapon. Nothing quite like clubbing someone over the head.
What are you speaking from experience? This is funny. So she was lying to me basically every time I asked any question. Like every single answer was a lie over and over again, trying to hide the fact that she was here, trying to pretend that her drugs have been harmless forever when they're so clearly dangerous. But also, her one admission remains to be not true because Helen died from being shot. So she just thinks she killed Helen. So she either mistook her for someone else, or Helen just survived and just woke up really shittily after this. The wilderness. You didn't dump the body at the Grand Colonial.
Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse.
You didn't make it like 5 feet without somebody realizing you're dragging a corpse, so unnecessary detail. It's more the part where how it's more than just the effort that seems insane. You'd have to, like, at some point commission a vehicle. Honestly, you dragged her pretty far already. You're sure Helen was dead?
I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session.
Those aren't good either.
My productivity-enhancing herbs typically do induce sluggishness, but I suppose they must have been enough to do her in if her constitution was truly that weak.
I want to yell at you to not poison people anymore, but I think almost every institution's poisoning people in this game. It's pretty rough. Actually, I don't think you killed anybody. Certainly not Helen.
What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. It's your job to arrest me, isn't it?
I mean, you should be arrested for negligence and endangering a bunch of people, but you didn't kill this particular person. Hey, that's even the word I used down there. The only thing you've done is be completely negligent.
No. You can't trick me. I finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned.
The constable's dead, but I guess if you want to be imprisoned, I can oblige you.
Yes. One step ahead as always, shadowy corporate figures. You'll never get my secrets. Never.
What the fuck?
The sweet safety of imprisonment. I'll no longer have to put up with the miserable vulnerability of this bunker. Finally relief.
You're a lot. I can't handle anymore how much a lot you are. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, Betty's outside somewhere. I guess everything's still outside, mostly. Alright, let's check out this basement area, though. See what can be uncovered. Well, we have somebody that's, like, arresting themselves, basically. I guess they're welcome to have their fun. We... Let's reload that. Which of these guns is which? No. What happened to my good gun? I guess I have one of these. Didn't I have a pretty good rifle? I guess I mixed up which stuff I was unequipping. Whoops. Geological survey notes. The world is beautiful beyond compare. I can see colors I never imagined existed. The sky has a voice, and it's singing to me. I see the truth now. I see everything so clearly, so perfectly. The storms of Eridanos are notes in the great cosmic orchestra. The stars are the choir of the universe, and every word they sing is joy. I can't seem to stop smiling. I don't want to stop smiling. Ever. Anyway, you're dead now. Bye-bye. You're done smiling now. In any other setting, you would think that this overwhelming problem would be the primary plot of what's going on, and everyone would be talking about it all the time. But basically, no one has talked about it still. This might be a commentary. Like, it almost feels like the game is sort of creatively doing something, because there's often, like, widespread problems that we refuse to discuss because we are more distracted by petty, often politically convenient problems that can be used to distract the conversation forever. The war on Christmas, ooh, this is a real thing. 556 out of 556 files corrupted. Recovery? Yes. 2 files recovered. Access log 2. I guess let's read one first. Eridanium gigaseous research notes number 1. I've completed the final round of total immersion, suspension, and exposure tests. As expected, Eridanium gigaseous dissolves in acid, burns in fire, and can be disintegrated by otherwise destroyed by N-rays and concentrated blasts of plasma. The creature is vulnerable when alone. However, bonding with a host evokes intensely provocative behavior from that host. Safeguarding the parasite becomes the host's primary objective, even to the point of aggression and violence. The creature also seems well suited to long-term hibernation and immersion in a liquid suspension. Water and low-grade alcohols preserve the creature. Its metabolic systems, such as they are, slow to a halt. Once exposed to a host, the creature emerges from its dormant state and immediately attempts to attach itself to the host's nervous system. Long-term dormancy in an alcohol solution may prove useful to corporate. I'll prepare the report tomorrow. What the fuck? This is why the things are in the ad? Why would they put it in the ad? That's like a spoiler, and also tipping their hand in the universe too. So they're putting like this, we're acknowledging it here. They're putting the parasite in Spectrum Brown, which will like mostly hide it, and then it'll lay there dormant indefinitely, basically, until a host drinks it, and then it'll infect them like the fucking Yerk from Animorphs and get them all one by one. It is the Yerks from Animorphs. It's even by the ear. Oh, I need to read Animorphs again. I hear it goes hardcore by the end, and you're like, oh my fucking god. And they're like, yeah, your sad people are dead? Fuck you. This was always a story about war. Have fun, children. The parasite seems completely incompatible with the common sprat. This is baffling and disappointing. I have a few theories. Sprat nucleotides are highly adaptive. Eridanium gigaseus is a half-complete creature. Adaptive mutations in sprat physiology render it a poor host for the parasite. Eridanium gigaseus has a particular and discerning sense of taste, and finds sprats, accordingly, distasteful. Option 2 is ridiculous to be, but not strictly speaking impossible. Could both be true. I'm delirious. We'll delete in morning. Number 3. Continuing my search for more suitable hosts among common fauna, very promising results from Terra rays. Their biological system is well suited to hosting the parasite. My theory? The parasite enjoys exposure to the atmosphere of Eridanos and may be manipulating the Terra rays into more frequent and aggressive flight. In every case, the parasite successfully manipulated production of the hormones in the host's brain. I don't know how, yet. The implications of a parasite manipulating its host troubles me. Its nervous system is exotic and difficult to understand. I can't quite shake the idea that the parasite does not require contact with its host in order to influence its behavior. A suitable, large, and complex specimen may be able to manipulate the mood of a sentient creature by proximity alone. Maybe, possibly. These ideas are unscientific, and founded on my own anxieties. My nightmares have been muddying my thoughts. Should seek treatment soon. Amir Zhao. Is this what she was getting into? Was she uncovering the conspiracy that they were going to put parasites in Spectrum Brown to infect the colony as a whole? And were they doing this willingly, or were they doing this because they themselves were already infected? And it seems like the cordyceps fungus shit type stuff happens, where once you're infected, you just try to spread it, and it changes your behaviors to be whatever will further that mission. Is the villain of this DLC a worm? Warning, supervisor clearance required. Accessing this terminal without supervision and clearance will result in an informal reprimand. Rizzo requires that any informal reprimands be brought to the attention of your supervisor and will result in a formal reprimand. Happy customers are repeat customers. Open last entry. From HR to Amir Zhao, notice of expiration. This is to inform you that Rizzo's has been notified of your expiration due to one of the following cases. They sent an email to the dead person? Violent physical trauma. Accidental encounter with local fauna. Severe psychological reaction to company or company adjacent products. Or destruction of company property. After careful review, Rizzo's Office of Human Resources have approved the dissolution of your indenturement contract. In accordance with Rizzo's company law, your closest living relative will be awarded the following. 1 regulation-sized crate of Rizzo Spectrum Brown, which will infect them, great, to be delivered within 6 to 8 weeks of product launch. Wow, what a fucking recompense package for a death in the line of duty. Please note that as a gesture of gratitude to your service, your shipping and delivery fees have been waived. Your work on behalf of Rizzo's geological survey team has proved invaluable in the development and upcoming launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Thank you for being a part of the Rizzo's family. This is an automated message. Responses to this message have been disabled. That might have been the person that wrote the poem. Or everyone else was in the USGS. Well, that's the United States Geological Survey. I guess it's the Halcyon or Rizzo's Geological Survey. RGS. Supervisor clearance query. Supervisor clearance has been granted to Ludovico Q, Zhao A. Please note, in accordance to Rizzo's company policy, supervisor clearance is a privilege, not a right. Clearance may be revoked in the event of gross misuse, behavior contrary to Rizzo's company values, or dissident adjacent behavior. Access usage records supervisor clearance. Data corruption detected. Usage records inaccessible. Now generating error report. Error report corrupted. Failsafe protocol activated. Now dumping memory contents. Dump successful. Access? Yes. Isolate passcode? Match detected. That part. Alright. Kavil 4620. Memorize. Thank you for having a built-in memorize button, so I can assume I don't have to write it down. So we were able to get something from that mess. Rupturing host. So we don't have a name. But signs are not looking good. Sprats! What we need to do is we just need to engineer more giant sprats, like for that one movie. Yeah, well, there already are a bunch in that other place. So if we unleash the giant, is that the same broken hallway I've been to? Yeah. If we unleash the giant sprats, we can probably get them to kill and eat all of the worms, and save this whole place. This door doesn't open? Oh, it does. Any day now. I'll never hurt a sprat. They're great. Look at them go. Please consume all of the monsters. There's a lot of bad around here. We're going upstairs, ain't that exciting? What's gonna be up here? Spooky cave.
Make him regret it.
Oh. Oh. Well, that's a lot of stacked effects you have on you, isn't it? That's not looking good. Parasite jelly. Those are weird sounds. So the canids can be possessed. So they just don't care about sprats. They'll go for canids and they'll go for the rays. Terror rays. To shreds, you say? I haven't had to empty my inventory a single time this DLC. That's just diligence right there, and also I think I got an upgrade that increased my inventory space before I capped it on level. It's a little mean that higher tier upgrades just straight up give you more inventory space than the lower tier upgrades do. Because you progress down the skill tree itself pretty quickly. And then you just, if you don't get every single one of them, then you'll just perpetually regret that you ever bought one of the expensive ones instead of one of the shittier ones instead of one of the better ones. There's some color contrast. It's real gross looking, but it's color contrast. Would you like some green and some purple? I didn't know that Purpleberry came in dog form. I like it when they keep screaming after the fight's over. Like they just keep screaming. Like they're so dramatic. They're in so much pain. But like it happens again like every 5 minutes, and like they're fine. They're just walking around like nothing happened the whole time. Discovered several fascinating qualities of the Iridanium gigaseus. First, the parasite's internal biology is, for lack of a better term, highly modular. An elaborate system of organelles, nerve endings, blood vessels, and hormone receptors exist inside its flesh. When attached to a suitable host, the parasite behaves like a biological extension. A metaphor. Imagine shoving a bypass shunt into a terminal. The shunt is the parasite. The terminal is the host. Second, the parasite's nervous system houses a string of kernel-like cells capable of receiving and transmitting neurons. What are the implications? Thought manipulation? Thought control? Third, I've noticed an ambient reverberation of the parasite's nervous systems during periods of intense electrical activity in the Eridanos atmosphere. The larger specimens display a greater sensitivity. There's a direct correlation between the complexity of the parasite's nervous system and its size. Fourth, there seems to be no upper limit on the size of these parasites. I theorize that these caverns may have housed a particularly large specimen. In accordance with company policy, beginning to taste ingestion test now. May the law protect my atoms. Jesus. You made her eat it? And now she's dead. That's her body, probably. Yeah, because there's a death certificate and everything. They're fucking Rizzo's requires them to taste anything that they inspect? What's... She was on to it. God damn it, she also... We're setting up there being like a giant worm that might be the size of these caves, which is fucked up. She was on to it. She was the best chance they had of maybe figuring something out and avoiding any of this. And she fucking was mandated to try to eat it? Which is the worst thing you could do. You don't want that in your body. Now they're just gonna spread. They're gonna get it in your soda. They're gonna eat your family. Just all sorts of nasty things. The voice actors just go straight to 11 with those screams, but they do it all the time. Apparently my leg's borked. It'll be over it in a bit. This isn't Fallout. They just kind of go away. There it is. Just gotta walk it off. More bad sounds.
Place looks like it's seen better days. Best shot, asshole.
There's mantis. Why are there mantisaurs here? You guys are doing this on purpose. What a poor choice y'all have made. Who even wants to see a mantisaur? It's just a death bug. There's not a lot of upsides to it. Have you guys tried dogs? Hello, Virgil Henderson.
What is this? Another soul willing to brave the dangers of the wilderness? How thrilling to find my paramour out here in the wilds. Virgil Henderson at your service. Board surprise auditor and fifth finest shot this side of Halcyon. Delighted to meet you.
You just call me your paramour? Not much out here unless you're prepared to go through the finances of the local canids.
Of course I'm not. The Bureau of Creatures and Land Auditor was by last month. I certainly won't be encroaching upon her territory. She bites. I'm here to conduct a surprise audit of the local holy caves, Rizzo's lone leased property in the reserve. It is rather notedly empty. Worse, it seems the evacuation occurred without anyone filing the proper emergency paperwork. Tut tut.
Who has time to fill out forms during an emergency evacuation?
Good employees. With all this in mind, there is a small issue. I actually conducted an investigation of this facility several years ago. Since my biometric data might still be registered, it's possible that my entering the facility would not be legally classified a surprise. It's a puzzle, to be sure.
What does it matter if it's legally a surprise if no one's in the bunker to be surprised?
I may be a dashing, gunslinging space auditor, but even I know better than to question protocol. The more order there is, the less suffering. It's basic science. Suffice it to say, it doesn't behoove one of Halcyon's most prolific auditors to try to bend the rules when he thinks no one's looking. Because, my friend, someone's always looking.
I might be able to go in and conduct your investigation for you, for a price.
An uncertain suggestion. There are no shortage of legal loopholes for freelance work, but I fear setting my work on the shoulders of someone I've never met before. I may be able to hire you, but let me ask you a question to see if you're fit to represent me first. How much do you know about free market economics?
Oh no. I know that as a freelancer, I'm more cost effective than dying.
That's a sufficient amount of market knowledge indeed. I knew you were the right person for the job. Head into the holy caves and see what you can find. Keep your eyes open for journals, terminals, data pads, anything that might contain info about the operation. I'm counting on you.
Did I already win? Is there going to be an update? Find geological surveys. I think I might have found like 2. Time to go right back up in there. Yep. A little more context, I guess. It's easy to miss little computers on the ground, so they made a whole NPC just to help you find them, I guess. How much do you know about free market economics? Oh no. I know that I don't want to be in this conversation already. You see, whenever it's a bad thing, that's crony capitalism, which isn't the same thing. The secret was actually to capitalism even harder. That would have solved all the problems. And then people get mad when I say that the invisible hand is Santa Claus. Corporate authorized the name Eridanium gigaseus to describe the life form. Once we determine whether the creature is a viable flavoring agent, no, confection ingredient, or drinkable after fermentation, Rizzo's company branding department will provide a more consumer-friendly name. The life form is a parasite. Dissection reveals an incomplete system of rudimentary internal organs, a half-creature, an unfinished accident of orthogenesis. But how can this be? Eridanos is hostile to all life forms. Parasitism implies a rich biological diversity. I theorize that the Eridanium gigaseus is not truly endemic to the Eridanos planet, though was created in the organic waste of some terraforming system that operates the atmospheric complex. Continuing my investigation. More reports to follow. Happy to be a part of the Rizzo's family. And then they died. I think the terraforming system managed to create an entire new life form. Is that what they imply? Tells me to go that way, but I'm pretty sure it's easier to go this way. Or whatever the shit, wherever the tunnel is. The way they're suggesting is to take the elevator, go through the combat area, then back up to the other front door. Technically not 2 loading screens, but an elevator doesn't feel that different from one. In fact, it is one. It's a hidden loading screen. It's a sneaky one. Sneaky like these parasites. They went heavy on the color in this DLC. Yeah, it has to be sideways. Like, even I don't remember how to do this thing. What is this for? Is it that useful?
Excellent to see you again, my friend. Hope you've been keeping your head high.
I'm still looking for more. No, I think I found everything.
What are these? Research data pads? Not quite what I expected. Let's see what they say. Parasites, caves, thought control. He did what now? Well, it doesn't look like any of this is in violation, but it is disturbing. And disturbing a surprised auditor is as foul as failing to file proper paperwork. Rizzo's shall pay dividends for my psychological damage. Here's your reward, my friend. Your contributions to the field of surprise auditing shall not go forgotten.
Okay. Is that what your name is, Henderson? Because that's the guy in that thing where you throw a big wrench into a campaign or something. I've heard Henderson used as a reference to things like that. And here's the part where they want me to bully an old man or something. Let's see where that goes. Who supposedly is behind the whole land grant situation. Or has it. Even if it was a one-off character that might never come up again, it was nice to hear somebody actually acknowledge the parasites for a moment, because nobody ever does, except for, unless you count people that have parasites being protective of them. Oh, there's a lot of these guys. There's so many! And they're Tigrex colored. That one disintegrated. He is very gone. Friedrich Blossom. The Man Splitter. I guess we don't care about him. Not even a reference to what he's up to or anything. But, or like, wow, we found this guy out here. Oh, primals. This old man's got primals in his backyard. I imagine things aren't going so hot for him. Nope, don't come to me. Don't pay attention to me. I'm glad she's having fun. With gore. You both just teleported.
I don't know what it is you're looking for, stranger, but I reckon you better get. I've had about enough of you and your ilk coming by with your searching questions and expectant looks. I know you with those void-damned hunters, and I know what you want. Well, you ain't getting it.
What void-damned hunters are we talking about?
Like you don't know. That damn group of hunters that keeps coming by and hassling me. Nobody ever visits just because they want to gab with old Cyrus. No, they either want to poach me out of my land or poach me out of my best friend.
poach you out of your best friend? Are they a tossball player or something?
Ha! No, Kelly ain't no toss-baller, though. I reckon she could put the toughest players to shame. It's good having someone like that around. She ain't the brightest bulb, but... No, can't say I'd have much reason sticking it out in this wilderness without her.
There are hunters giving you trouble?
Damn straight there are. Wish I could go show 'em what for, but... I'm old. And I gotta make sure I don't get Callie into no trouble. Two of us have lived on the reserve for years. Every so often, someone comes by trying to steal our land grant and evict us. We hold our own, but... oh, it's mighty agitating.
I could help you deal with the hunters.
Really? Oh, that's great news. Cal! You hear that? We're finally getting some help!
Oh, Cal, was it? Who's a big, strong primal? You are, Cal. You are.
Hey, I think she likes you.
This is an odd situation, but I'm still inclined to help.
Wouldn't expect a stranger to do an unsolicited kindness to a standoffish old man. You're something else. I suspect you'll find the hunters that have been after me beyond the hills on the other side of the river from here. See if you can convince them not to poke around here.
I have a couple questions for you.
All right? Shoot.
What's it like spending your days with a primal?
A lot better than spending your days with a Kana, that's for certain. I'm happy out here, and I think Callie is too. Ain't that right, Callie?
She's a lot. Can you even close your mouth? Like, honestly, now that I've never gotten to see them up close for this long, how do those teeth work? What? What the fuck? Whoever designed these things, what were you doing? These mouths are all fucked up. They can't close their own mouths. Like, look at those teeth. What? How long have you lived out here?
Oh, quite a few years at this point. It'd be since a couple years before the Rizzo Slug Complex ownership switch. And after that... well, I ain't sure. It's been a while. And for the most part, it's on the quiet side. Just not when those damn hunters are on about.
That's all. See you later. Friend, Caliban. Talk? Nope. Yep, that walk cycle's flawless. Not freaking out at all. That's a creature you were never meant to see that up close. Can I just tell them to leave him alone or something? Oop. This floor is too slippery. Oh, there's so many enemies around here. They're trying to have a monarch up here. I don't want big open areas full of repeating enemies. I just want to get to the story. Uh-oh. Can I get down here safely? Okay. Should be fine here. This place is massive.
You ever wonder why they put lights on our armor?
No, Trooper.
What about these tubes poking out everywhere?
No. Trooper, stop asking stupid questions.
Sorry, Commander.
How dare you ask basic questions about their situation and what we look like and so on. I'll have your head.
You return. I hope you bring news.
Oh, it's you. In a body bag, that's a bit strong.
Company gives us a discount on Spectrum Brown.
You return. I hope you bring news. You mean you don't know the story?
Due to some backhanded, I seek only to have what was stolen.
I talked to Cyrus. It's time you left the reserve in a body bag.
Oh, you void damn sprat fuck. To arms, everybody. The old man's trying to scratch us off.
Oh, you are in for it.
That's a disappointing outcome? Oh god. Ouchie. Holy shit. Holy shit. That goes bad instantly. Okay, I'm disappointed how little there is to this quest. There's no like dialogue options for it. It's just, let's do this now. Oh, this is a, I thought this was a hunting rifle because it looks like one. You know, I think Rizzo might like me less after this. They might not be the biggest fans of me. But how could I go after that poor old man? Leave him alone. Not entirely sure what that poor old man ultimately has to do with the land grant situation. Seems like a unnecessary conflation of a few things, but, well. Halcyon Helen's dead.
Back, I see. You come bringing good news?
You won't have to worry about anyone coming around after you for a while.
Ah! Oh, me almighty, you know how to bolster an old man's spirits. Oh, thank you kindly, stranger. Oh, you're right, Cal. How could I forget? Oh, here's a reward for your trouble.
Back at you, ma'am. I was given the pen. What is the pen? Is it a weapon? Yes. 1200 DPS long gun. So worse than this. It's a oh, it's a shotgun. Yeah. Like an 800 damage explosion comes out of it. How's my inventory doing? I still have like 50 to go with all these weapons in here. Might not even have to deal with cleaning it up. Well, hope it deletes some dudes. Oh, we're fighting. I drew some attention. Is it even doing damage? I'm on fire. I'm not even sure how that part happened. Is this the pen that's supposed to be mightier than the sword?